Hey guys, if you need raw dog food anywhere in the United States, be sure to visit our friends over at texastripe.com.
Welcome to NWA Cane Corso's podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Yes, sirree. We are back in the house. Kind of a pop-up show. As I told you, there may be one or two of those for the week. Welcome everybody back. I know they're starting to come in now. Another episode of NWA Cane Corso. This time we have a repeat guest and a very special guest and a knowledgeable guest. Our sister Laini, Leal. How you doing, young lady?
I'm good. How are y'all tonight?
We are very, very, very well. We very well. Glad to have you back. This show here, we was going to do a little something different. We was going to go a little bit more in depth on, understanding the AKC point system and, and just things about the show world. If people hadn't been in, that they could be made aware of and, make it a little easier. I think sometimes when you don't do something, people quick to knock it because they hadn't done it, and they prejudge them before they do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you still been grinding on a daily basis?
Always. You know
Always.
me. I'm a hard worker. That's all I know how to do.
That's what's up. Where you from again?
Valdosta, Georgia.
Georgia in the house. Come on, Georgia. On my mind. Yeah. So, if they hadn't met you before, could you just give them a little brief introduction on who you are, what you do?
I am an AKC professional handler. I have been showing in AKC for 20 years. I went professional almost a decade ago now. I'm also a pet stylist. I've been doing that for 20 years. And just good old country girl. That's who I am.
Right. And you are full-time dog shit all the time.
Yep.
Like
all
grooming.
dogs 24/7.
Yep. I don't understand it. I had another lady on here, 24/7 dogs. Yeah. So, you getting prepared. How often do you travel on your weekends? Would you say just on an average?
Most months I'm gone 2 to 3 weekends or weeks out of the month.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. All right. So before we get deep into some things, I know you groom.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do some training as well. Do you do like well, yeah, you have to do it. You have to kind of, could you explain to me the process of getting people's dogs ready for shows, how they contact you, what to expect?
So basically when I'm getting dogs ready to show, they come and live with me. I board, I train, I condition. The dogs bond with me. They learn my process, our routine, which really helps them in the ring. Once the dog knows me, they know how I move. They read my body language. I'm able to read their body language so that we flow better in the ring. I can do ringside, but I really prefer the dogs to come and stay with me, hang out with me, live with me, so we can really get to know each other, because every dog is different. Every personality is different. They respond different to different training. So I encourage my clients to send their dogs to me, let them live with me, hang out with me. Their dogs are treated like my dogs. They get time in the house. They get time with me. They get individual attention. We will go on walks when the weather is nice. Not this week since it's been 100 degrees here,
Hmm.
but we do try to go on walks. We do try to play in the yard, things like that. The dogs aren't just put in a kennel run and just left forever. The
Right.
dogs sleep in the house. I have a dog room in the house with everybody. So they get that exposure to the inside, the noises, the different things. So their dogs are literally my dogs while they're here. And we really work on bonding. So when we go to the show and we're running around the ring and we're standing for the judge and we're doing all the things, that dog can read me and I can read him or her, and we're able to really work together to accomplish whatever goal we've set out to accomplish that day.
Right. Right. So you need that bonding to get the harmony
Mhm.
together with the dog. What do you require the customer to do as far as like um, food and whatnot? What do they have to send with the dog?
So I'm always 100% for them sending food if they want to, if their dog's on a specific food. If not, I do have food that I feed that they're more than welcome to. It's included in their board. So your
Okay.
dog's going to get fed regardless if you send food or not.
Right.
Right now, I'm feeding Next Level. I've really liked that food. I switched about 6 months ago after trying it last year after I actually won it at a show, and I really like that food and my dogs have done really well on it. So I let my clients know, hey, this is what I'm feeding. If you're fine with it, awesome. If not, send me a bag of dog food in a sealed container and I'll let you know when they're about half out so you can send me another bag. Um, Honestly, all I need is your dog.
Mhm.
I The more stuff you bring, the more stuff I have to keep up with, and sometimes that's hard to do if we're on the road or we're doing different things. So it's I provide all the bowls, all the beds, all the things that your dog really needs while they're here.
Let me ask you this: what what are some things that'll make you turn a dog away? Like, "Ah, I don't want to deal with that dog."
Um, Usually the people. It's
Okay.
not generally the dog. It's usually the people.
Okay.
Um, I I require my clients to trust me.
Hmm.
You have to trust me to make day to day decisions, minute to minute decisions, depending on what's going on with your dog. I don't mind my clients asking questions and asking why I chose to do something. But at the end of the day, you have to trust me to do what's best for your dog, to do what's best to achieve whatever goals we have. There are dogs that I will turn away. It's not very often I do turn one away, but if your dog shows aggression towards people, uncontrolled aggression or unprovoked aggression, I'm not going to deal with your dog. I used to do behavior modification and I do some of that still. As I've gotten older, I don't like fighting with dogs that want to bite me. I
Yeah,
don't.
I feel
I
you.
don't know that many people that do. There are trainers out there and they're wonderful trainers and we need those trainers. I'm not that trainer anymore. So if your dog just wants to bite me, I'm not that person for you. I want a dog that wants to work with me. That doesn't mean that I don't have dogs that come here that we have to get through that initial stage of, hey, this is what I allow and this is what I don't allow. Because when they come to me, it's different than when they're at home. They may get to lay on the couch at home. You don't get to lay on my couch here. My couch is for humans. So you have to learn how to be on the floor, and they may not understand when I say move off the couch, I mean move off the couch. So there's give and take. There's some things that we can negotiate. But any true aggression, I'm not gonna deal with.
Right,
It's
right.
not worth it. These dogs are too big. It's one thing if I've got an 8 week old puppy here for training, that's different. When I've got a 100 pound Rottweiler or I've
Mm.
got a 90 pound, you know, Corso or 100 pound Corso or a Malinois or a German Shepherd or even the smaller dogs, some of the smaller dogs. If you're just gonna bite me just because you're angry at the world, that's not my day. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna force you into this. This is not something that has to happen. Dog shows are not a must. They are
Right.
something that the dog should want to do because they enjoy spending the time with you. So if
Hmm.
your dog's just gonna hate me and hate being in the ring and hate being in the world, I'm gonna let you take your dog back home. Y'all can cuddle on the couch and have fun. I'm not that person.
Right, right. Um, what? Okay, when you get these dogs from green people,
Yep.
who you say, okay, I'll take your dog. What are some things that we may teach that you might have to change the dog from thinking, like like some people make the dog sit when they
Right.
stop, they sit. Is that one of the main things you have to fix?
Sitting is a big one, which is fine with me. I tell all my clients I am 100% for you teaching your dog obedience while I'm teaching it conformation or seeger or whatever we're teaching your dog. Mainly because I'm not going to live with an ill-mannered dog. I don't expect you to either. So just when you teach your dog to sit, also teach him to stand. And that command comes in down the road as well. The other big thing I have to break is the dog pulling. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
why people like the dog pulling. I I don't like my dogs pulling. I have a muscular back as it is. I don't need help with that. So that's the other big thing is I have to teach the dog to work with me, to run with me. We don't have to run 6 feet out in front of me. We can run
Right,
with me. I have a long enough stride. We can keep up, work with me, walk with me, run with me.
right. What dog have when you say being in tune with a dog in the ring? Is there a dog that be like, boy, there wasn't nothing like that dog. Don't get in trouble now. Be careful
um,
with this one.
I have had the honor of showing some really, really cool dogs and really amazing dogs. And each one has made me work for it in their own way. Um, Whether they have that one foot that they move at the last minute, or they sink into their rear, or they decide to look at the judge and roll their eyes at the judge. Believe it or not, dogs are very capable of doing that. Um, every dog has really just made me a better trainer and a better handler because we're always working on something. And
Right.
they know when I've got them set and I'm proud and I'm getting ready to present them, and they know, and then I have to learn them to feel them. So it's a constant dance between us of, okay, are they going to move that foot? Can I catch them before they move that foot? Can I catch them before they sink? Where's the judge at so that I can adjust them as I need to
Mhm.
before they do it. People don't realize how mentally involved I am when I'm just having the dog stand there or even just moving them. I have some dogs that want to pace all the time where they're moving the same legs on the same side.
Mhm.
So I've got to know that dog does that and figure out how to get them out of it so that the judge sees them gating properly instead of pacing. It's a mental exercise all the time. So every dog is a challenge in and of itself. They all have their little quirks. They all have their good days and their bad days. And so it's a constant mental exercise. But I get to play with some really, really awesome dogs that even though they can be challenging, they're a lot of fun once we're in tune and we're kicking out the winds and having fun.
You do Seeger shows too, right?
I do.
Okay. So which were you involved in first, AKC or the Seeger?
AKC. I've only been doing Seeger now for about 4 years, I think.
Hmm.
So
Right.
Seeger is very new to me, but I'm having a lot of fun. It's actually more of a vacation for me when I get to go to a Seeger show,
Why is
even
that?
though I'm running more. I'm not having to juggle ring times, and I'm not having to juggle like 6 different breeds. And I have
Oh,
one breed,
yeah.
and depending on what classes I have, I may have like a hour break, or I may have like a 30-minute break, or I might be running from ring to ring to ring to ring. But
Mhm.
at least it's still just one breed that I can focus on for that weekend.
What does the week leading up to a show? What does that look like for you?
Oh gosh, for me, it's usually me working at the grooming salon up
Mhm.
until the day that I need to leave for the show. So, like next week, I'll be leaving on Wednesday morning.
Mhm.
And so, Wednesday morning, we get up, we'll make sure ahead of time that the truck is ready and set up for whatever dogs we're taking. I'll throw the dogs out Wednesday morning. Depending on how close the show is, I may go ahead and run to the salon with the truck full of dogs and bathe everybody there and then head to the show. That
Mhm.
way I don't have to groom them once I get there.
Right.
Um, like Wednesday, it's about a 7 hour drive. So I'll get up early Wednesday morning and we'll hit the road. And hopefully I can get there a little after lunch, get everybody set up, ready to get moving the next day, get everybody groomed, and hopefully get in bed at a somewhat decent hour myself so that I can be refreshed and ready to hit the day the
Right.
next day when we start showing.
How do you travel? You said a truck. Do you got a camper or I see a lot of
I
campers
actually
and
have a
stuff.
16-foot Ford box truck that
Oh, you
is
do?
totally decked out for the dogs.
Oh, you baller shot caller, you?
It's all about the dogs. It's got two
Yeah,
ACs
yeah.
on top. I've got two generators that can run both ACs, especially for these hot days. They have
Mhm.
a fan back there that circulates the air. They are comfy,
Right,
very
right,
comfy.
right. So, two, is it preferred that in the show world that the dog have a little bit more substance on it? They don't want to see a lot of rib on a dog during the shows.
So it really depends on the breed.
Okay.
The working dogs, we are seeing where they are wanting them a little thicker.
Mhm.
Like my Trinecki, my hounds that I have, they actually prefer them not on the leaner side, but they need to have a tuck up. We do want to see those last couple of ribs. You'll actually see the hip bones on my dogs, but that's
Okay.
because that's how they're built.
Right.
The gray hounds, your Ibiza hounds, your sight hounds are you're gonna see the ribs. Our Rottweilers, we do put a little more weight on them than we do in the Seeger ring.
Mhm.
Why? I honestly couldn't tell you that.
Right, right. Do you have help when you're doing all this, right?
Sometimes.
Oh, really? You do? Okay. 'Cause I'm
A lot
thinking
of
about
times I do it by myself.
okay.
It's just easier. I generally don't carry that many dogs
Right,
so that I can do it by myself. Every once in a while I will take enough dogs where I need an assistant
right.
and they do help me, but 99% of the time it's just me
Yeah,
doing
okay.
it all.
Potty breaks, all that stuff.
All
Yeah.
of it. Yep.
Golly. That's what's up. Um, for as your mental, do you feel a lot of pressure like to perform for your clients, or is it just like I'm just gonna do the best I can, whatever happens, happens?
There's definitely mental pressure. I think I put it more on myself than my clients do. I want to make my clients happy. I want to win for them. They're investing a lot of money into sending their dogs out with me, making sure that their kennel names out there, that they're finishing dogs. So if it takes me a long time to finish a dog, that's more money they're putting out.
Right.
Um, I can't always control that. At the end of the day, the judge is the one that's got to point that finger at me, but I can do everything in my power to make that dog look 100% and make that judge look at me.
Right.
And there's certain judges I won't show to because I know they're not going to point at my dog no matter what I bring them. And then
Well,
there's other judges that I come to and I know I've got a pretty good shot under that judge because I know what that judge likes and they're consistent with what they put up.
gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Let me pause for a minute,
Sure.
and get some of these comments. Running side by side with your dog is hard. They just want to book it. What's up? That's he in Canada. What's up,
It
Davidson?
It can be a challenge, especially for your higher drive dogs. But that's where that extra work comes in. A lot of trainers I have found want to just run with their dog. Well, if you've got a dog that just wants to run, they need to take a few steps back and learn how to walk beside you. And it gets back to that's where that obedience training comes in, where, all right, we're going to go for a walk. And
Right.
that's all we're going to do is walk. And when you learn to walk beside me, without being in charge, and that's 99% of the problem is they want to be in charge. Once they learn that we're going to walk out on my schedule, my tempo, my timetable, then we can start increasing the cadence and increasing the speed to where, okay, now we're going to run. It takes time with some dogs. So I had a dog here for a full month where literally all we did was walk, and that's all I could do with him because he was so drivey and so I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, that I was like, nah, dude, you're not. You're with me.
Right.
We are walking. I am walking. You are walking beside me. And we did see a difference in the show ring at that point once he started learning, okay, I have to listen to her because she's setting the pace. I'm not setting the pace. I needed him for probably another few months and we could have really been in sync because he was a hard-headed one.
Mhm.
But that month did make a big difference in the ring.
Yeah, gotcha. Show enough. How you doing, brother? The Dirty Heel. Show enough in the house.
What's
My
up?
son Canine Kennel is in the
Hey,
house.
I recognize that kennel name.
Yeah, who is that guy? What's
I
up,
don't know.
Our brother from another mother, Angelo Santiago, is in the
Howdy, howdy.
casa. Yeah. So I want to get into. Let me see before. Let me make sure. Okay. Now we finna go to school, y'all, because I got Laini going to kind of break down this point system for because everybody depending on where you live
Mhm.
is what is what you can like. We don't have a lot of training facilities in my area. Or you got to drive about an hour to get to some. If you want to get into some deep stuff, but
Right.
everywhere you can probably find it to do something with the show and different things at
Absolutely.
a show. Yeah, we ain't even talked about the different things besides just showing that's at
Yeah.
the AKC events, but we'll get into that. But I got this chart here, and let me blow it up for my old ass. Okay, now I can see it. Okay. Now, can you kind of take us through this and how the point system works in the AKC?
Absolutely. So when you first have your dog entered, whether you're sending it out with a handler or you're going to show your dog yourself, what you're trying to obtain if you want a championship, an AKC championship on your dog, is you need 15 points. And those points are determined in 1 to 5 increments, with points 3 to 5 being what we call majors. And you have to have 2 majors in that 15 points to get your championship. So you can have 15 points, but if you haven't gotten both majors, you're not a champion. So, and AKC makes it that way. It kind of levels the playing field in a way and makes it um, just because there's certain areas it's harder to find a major in than other areas. So if you only needed 15 points, you may have an area where you're always getting 5 points versus another area that you may only see 1 or 2 points. So
Mhm.
it kind of evened out the playing field for everybody when they did that. So how you get that 15 points is you're going to enter your dog or your bitch, depending on which one you have. For this example, we'll just use a dog. You're going to enter your dog in whatever category, whatever class your dog fits in. So if you've got a brand new 6-month-old puppy, you don't want that puppy competing with a dog that's over 18 months of age,
Mhm.
because it's going to be hard to compare the two dogs at that point. So AKC broke it down by age, and then it also broke it down by handler experience. One thing that I really love about AKC that Seeger doesn't have, and I wish Seeger did have, is a bred by class. And what that means is you personally bred that dog.
Mhm.
That comes from your lines and your breeding. And one reason I love that class is because we are showing these dogs for breeding stock. We are supposed to be picking the
Yeah.
best of the breeding stock. So at the end of the day, who is our backbone of these events, whether it's Seeger or AKC or UKC or IBACA or whatever organization you're with, it's
Mhm.
our breeders. Without our breeders, we don't have dogs.
That's
So
right.
I love bred by exhibitor. I actually have one bred by champion, Trineco. I have another one I'm working on. Um, I love playing in the bred by exhibitor class. It's a lot of fun and it shows the judge, hey, I am a breeder of these dogs.
Right.
So let's say you enter your puppy in 6 to 9 and the judge picks you to win that class. Well, you don't get any points for that. You get a really pretty ribbon, and
Mhm.
then you get to go to what's called winner's dog.
Okay.
This is where you're going to get your points if the judge picks you. So once all the categories, while the classes are picked, the number one winner in each class goes back in for winner's dog. And the judge decides from all of those classes who he wants to give the points to. And he's supposed to be looking at whatever dog fits the breed standard the best that day. It
Mhm.
could be your 6-month-old puppy. It could be the open dog. It could be the bred by dog. It could be the novice dog. It could be any of the winners from any of those classes. So once the judge picks your dog as the winner's dog, you now get whatever points are available that day. And the way AKC determines what points are available that day is how many dogs showed up and showed that day that are entered. So if you only had 2 dogs show up, most breeds, 2 dogs is only 1 point. So you still got a point, but that's 1 point towards 15.
Yeah.
So you still got a little ways to go, but at least
Right.
you have a point. For some of the dogs that I finished, we had 14 points and 2 majors. So that 1 point is all we needed to finish that dog. Other dogs, that 1 point is the start of our journey, and we've got a little ways to go. So it's very important for you to keep up with your points. Now, one of the hardest things to get is our majors, and that changes depending on what region you're in for your breed. So AKC broke down the United States into different regions. So my region that I live in, we are including Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. And for most breeds, it has the highest numbers to be able to get majors.
Okay.
So at Rottweilers in my area right now, I believe it takes 9 bitches just to get 3 points. That's a lot of Rottweilers to have to get together and all of them to show up to be able to get those majors.
Right.
And right now it's a little difficult. We went through a phase where we were seeing majors at almost every show. Now people don't have the dogs to build majors, so now we're hunting for those majors. We're trying to find those regions that have lower numbers so we can get those majors. So it's a little bit of a numbers game.
Yeah.
Now, once you get winner's dog, your job still isn't done. Now you have the points. Nobody can take those points away from you. You're good. But now you get to go and you get to compete in best of breed against all the already finished champions. And one reason for this is it gives you an opportunity to also get points if you were to beat any of those champions, because they will add to however many dogs you already defeated. So you can get a major by going best of breed or best of opposite over finished champions. And I've finished many of dog doing that. I've got majors on many of a dog doing that. In fact, my bred by Trineka that I have, she got most of her points by going either best of breed or best of opposite. So there's some advantages to competing in best of breed. You can also have a situation where there's more points in the bitch classes than there is for your dog. So if you get what's called best of winners, which is only available to winner's dog and winner's bitch, you actually get as many points as the bitches had. So maybe there was a major in bitches and you only had 1 point for your dog. You got best winners, now you have a major. So AKC gives you multiple avenues to be able to get those points, depending on how well your dog does and how much the judge likes your dog.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this: if somebody was new and the first thing people tell them would go to handling classes, start doing some handling. Is there a particular strategy you recommend for newbies so they won't overextend themselves on travel or tips or anything like that you can give them on just starting out?
Sure. Handling classes are great. That's going to give you the basics of how to stack your particular dog, how to move your dog, how you hold yourself, because that does make a difference. But I tell people to remember that this is a hobby, and it can be an expensive hobby. And if you want to travel to Alaska to show your dog, or Puerto Rico or Spain or any of these places to show your dog, that's great. But make sure your bills are paid first.
Yeah.
Have a set budget. I have known many a person who they got 2 months behind on their car payment because they were going to dog shows.
Yeah.
Don't do that. There's no reason to do that. It's a fun sport. It can be very addictive.
Yeah.
Ask me. I've been doing it for 20 years. I started out showing my own dogs first, and I got bit by the bug, and I love doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, my bills had to be paid first. So when I was showing my own dog, I only went to one dog show every 3, maybe 4 months. And it was when it was local to me, it was within a couple hours drive. So
Right.
if I didn't have the money for a hotel, I drove back and forth every day. If I didn't have a friend to stay with, I drove back and forth every day. As I got older, got some stuff paid off, had better jobs, my grooming salon was doing better. I was bringing in more income. Then I was able to travel a little further out, go to more dog shows,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And then, of course, now that I am a handler, I get to go to dog shows and do what I love doing, but I
Okay.
still have to make sure the bills are paid also.
Right.
So, yeah, I would love to go to the show in, say, Wyoming and get to see Wyoming. But if I don't have the clients that are willing to allow me to drive to Wyoming and pay the expenses to go out there, either I have to come out of pocket for it or I don't go to Wyoming. And that's one thing I will stress to a newbie: give yourself a set budget every month of what you can actually afford to do. And if you can't afford to go to a dog show that month, I promise you there's going to be another one next month. In fact, there's usually 5 or 6, give or take, in any given state every single weekend. So don't overextend yourself financially, because you will get burnout trying to chase those points. And then it's not fun anymore. And then you're worrying about losing your house or losing your car, or your husband's mad at you, or your wife is mad at you, or your kids are mad at you. It's a hobby. Set yourself a budget. And even with handling classes, make sure your handling classes are within your budget as well, because many of those can get expensive. Having to drive an hour or two to handling class every night, it takes away from other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So be very realistic in your budgets that you set, and realize that this is a hobby and it's not something that you have to do. Make sure you're taken care of. Make sure your dogs have a roof over their head. You have a roof over your head. Your car's taken care of. Your job's taken care of. Whatever it may be at home.
Mm. Yeah. So it can get pretty competitive, huh?
It can be very competitive. I've
Yeah.
I've known many a person who has actually lost their home and was living in their car because they got too involved in
Right.
dog shows.
Well, is it you know, when a dog becomes a champion, uh, what does that do for especially a breeding program?
It gives your dog more value. You've been judged by your peers that your dog is of breeding stock.
Hmm.
Um, I will caution people when I say that. Please know your dog's faults
Yeah.
as well as their attributes, because just because your dog is a finished champion does not mean that you should go breed it to whichever dog comes along. Um, I have multiple dogs out here. I can tell you their strengths and their weaknesses.
Hmm.
Just because the dog is number one in the country does not mean I'm going to breed my dog to it.
Yeah.
Maybe that dog has a straight front and my dog has a straight front. In the world of genetics, you know what that means? Your dogs, your puppies are going to have straight
Rick
fronts.
Ross, yeah.
So you really have to understand that even though your dog is a finished champion, and your dog does have more value now that it has its championship because it has been judged to be breeding stock material, that's just the beginning. That's just that very first layer of a breeding program.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because I think people get it confused where they think breeding is champion and champion. That don't mean nothing when it comes to uh
It,
you know
I've seen some champions be bred to champions that produce some very pet quality puppies.
right, yeah. You got to breed that for the complement dogs that complement each other. Okay,
Right.
let me ask you this.
Mhm.
So you said you kind of noticed like, well, that judge there, I ain't gonna do good with him. Um, is that because don't get in trouble now? But is that because you know what they're looking for, or is it sometimes is it we in dogs? There's a lot of politics in dogs. Is it might
There
be
can be.
it could be
Uh,
personal? I mean, what?
I cannot say for certain that I have ever been put up because the judge didn't specifically like me or dislike me.
Mhm.
I can say that there are certain judges that they just maybe don't know me as well as another handler, so they don't know that I'm bringing them a good dog, or maybe it's along the lines of they just didn't like the way I presented the dog, which is very possible. Maybe
Right.
they thought I moved the dog too quickly or not quick enough, or
Mhm.
I've had judges give me handling lessons in the ring, and I just nodded and said thank you, and continued to show my dog the best way that I thought my dog should be presented.
Right.
So judges are people.
Yeah.
They wake up in the morning just like I do. They put their pants on just like I do. And it is very tough when you've had an exhibitor say something ugly about you. I've had the pleasure of judging owner handler sweeps a couple of times now, and it's tough because you're sitting there in the ring with somebody has said maybe something not very nice about you,
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, you have to put your ego aside,
People gonna
and you
people.
have to judge the dog,
Right.
and they may not be happy with the way I judge the dog, but as long as I know I judge the dog correctly. So when a judge doesn't put me up, I don't immediately think it's because the judge doesn't like me or anything like that. I immediately go to either that judge doesn't like my type of dog, or the judge didn't like the way I presented the dog, or the competition that day was just better. Whether
Yeah.
I agreed with it or not, maybe it was just better.
Is there a difference in the critique or the style of critique in Seeger versus AKC? Like, do
Yes.
okay, okay,
In Seeger, you actually get a critique.
okay. So they're more, yeah. Okay. So AKC don't tell you like
No.
that and that on that dog, but Seeger like let you know what the hell going on, right?
Oh, Seeger will let you know every hair that isn't correct on your dog, which I absolutely adore, because then I can get an idea of what that judge is looking for
Hmm.
and what I should bring to that judge next time.
Okay.
With AKC, I just have to watch what that judge puts up and see if that judge consistently puts up a specific thing.
Right.
Um, I've got the pleasure, or I've had the pleasure of getting to know a bunch of the judges in AKC, and I had one judge at one show tell me that she was fixated on short loins for that weekend,
Right.
and so she was looking for dogs for short loins. Whether she was looking for that the next show, I don't know. I didn't go to that next show. She was off further than I wanted to go. But at least that gave me an idea of maybe something she was going to look for if I saw her again down the road.
Right.
Most
Uh.
judges are not going to be that honest, though.
Right. Right. Okay. And the Seeger critique is also written, documented.
Yes, it is. You get a critique at the end of the day, and the end of the weekend, that said everything the judge said about your dog, good, bad, and ugly. And I absolutely love that, because I can look at my dog and go, "Oh, I didn't notice that about her or him," or I can go, "Yeah, I don't know what the judge was looking at, but maybe it was the way I was handling the dog. Maybe I should, look and see if maybe I'm causing the judge to see that in my dog, because we can manipulate the dog to look a certain way,
Right.
and maybe we just didn't have them positioned correctly at that point.
Right.
You can make a dog look easy westy when you don't mean to, and
Right.
maybe the dog isn't easy westy. Maybe it was just the way you had the front settled, or
Mm.
maybe the dog looked narrow because you picked the dog up and it landed narrow right as the judge was critiquing that particular point.
Right.
So the critiques give us a lot of feedback, and I wish AKC could do that. Unfortunately, at shows where we're judging 2 and 3 thousand dogs a day, it's not possible.
Yeah.
But it Seeger does definitely make me a better handler by making me look at what the judges are seeing.
Is there a difference on how much you can touch the dog, AKC versus Seeger?
Yes, so Seeger, one thing I will have to say I love about Seeger too is they don't generally touch the dog except for tails and testicles.
Okay.
AKC, the judge is touching your dog all over, so it better have a rock solid temperament,
Yeah.
or you better be a damn good handler
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
able to know if that dog's about to um, play with that judge.
Right. Yeah. So that's a big deal across
Mhm.
the board when it comes to dogs. Temperament.
Oh,
How
it's
is
huge.
oh my is it a huge thing?
It's a huge.
How bad is it out there right
You
now?
know, so I will start that by saying everybody looks for something different in each dog.
Right.
Um, I have a lot of Malinois friends that range from they want an even tempered with an off switch all the way to the crazier the better.
Yeah.
I've met Rottweiler people that way. I've met Corso people that way. It
Yeah.
seems like the working dogs, any dog that's a working dog, even sporting breeds, your, excuse me, your spaniels, your setters, they seem to be the same way. They either want them docile, great house pets, or they want them drivey, super drivey, and with no off switch.
Mhm.
I'm of the idea I don't want an animal that I can't teach an off switch to.
Right.
If I've got a dog that's biting, it better no release. And I don't mean release 10 minutes from now. I mean release right now.
Right.
Because if I'm in a situation where I have to send that dog to bite, I better be able to retrieve that dog, especially with just day-to-day activities.
Right.
If I've got a dog that's fetching, it better know how to release that toy when I ask them to without trying to bite me.
Right.
So temperament is a little bit in the eye of the beholder as to what you want in a dog.
Right.
But you also have to remember we have these temperaments in these dogs for a reason. Our working dogs are harder tempered for a reason. You
Mhm.
know, they're a little spicier for a reason. My hounds have prey drive for a reason. They're supposed to run after anything furry and fuzzy.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there has to be a balance. You know, I've shown Rottweilers that had no problems biting anybody that got too close. And for me, that's a little too hard of a temperament because I don't want him biting my friends that walk up to me. Now, if somebody's coming at me with a knife or they're going to hit me, have
Mhm.
fun, chew them up, doesn't bother me. But
Mhm.
if my friend comes over and they want to give me a hug, I shouldn't have to worry about my dog biting them.
Yeah.
So there has to be that nice balance with temperament.
Right. Understood. Yeah. So it sounds like you don't mind them being somewhat drivey, but
Sure.
but it needs to be able to have manners at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be controlled. At the Ohio Nationals, Anton Spindler actually said that multiple times, and I respect him for that. He said that if you can't control your dog, it's not a Rottweiler. And he actually did kick a dog out of the ring because the dog was very spicy and very drivey, and the gentleman was having a hard time controlling the dog.
Yeah.
Now, whether it was that environment or whether that was the temperament on the dog, I couldn't tell you.
Right.
I'd never seen that dog or that person before, and
Mhm.
I'll give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the dog was stressed and had never been in that environment before.
Right.
But I loved Anton telling people, hey, if you can't control your dog, that's not a Rottweiler. You should be able to control them.
You said you did a little judging before. How many dogs can a judge be approved to judge in the
I
AK?
I believe a judge can judge up to 170 dogs a day, somewhere in
Well,
there.
when I ask that question, I mean what types?
Oh, how many breeds?
Yeah, how many breeds?
I
Yeah.
A judge can apply for as many breeds as they can and can be approved for. And the process is a very long one. It's not like they take a test today and they're approved to judge the dogs tomorrow.
Right.
They have to be mentored by people that have been in the breed 12 years or more. They have to do kennel visits. They have to go and be ringside mentored. They are tested on the computer, written tests. They are interviewed by AKC representatives as to their knowledge of each breed. So
Mhm.
it's a lengthy process. I've got several friends who are currently getting different breeds. And I have one friend, she's been working on her judge's license for, I want to say 3 years. And she's just now got the entire, or almost got the entire working breeds.
Oh,
So
really?
this isn't an endeavor that you can do overnight. You can't just sit down and take a test and be like, okay, I can go judge dogs. They are tested, they are talked to, they're tested again. They have to judge. We have what's called provisional judges.
Mm-hmm.
So the AKC rep will literally sit ringside as they're judging those breeds, and then they will critique them afterwards, and they either pass or fail. And if they fail, they don't get to move on. They have to repeat that process again. Or if they pass, then they get to move on to the next step of obtaining that breed.
Right.
So it takes a while, but we have what's called all breed judges that are able to judge best in show, and they have approval to judge every breed, which there's over 200 breeds in AKC now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as many or as few as you'd like to do.
And it just don't stop there too, because like I think judges, they can do seminars on their own, right? Yeah, I tried to fly one in. We couldn't get enough interest
Oh,
from. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, sometimes the area you live in,
oh
Arkansas,
yeah,
is just not a hotbed for dogs.
right.
And participating in a different thing, so it's hard to get a lot of people involved. Um, Let me ask you about this one here.
Mhm.
Now, you're competing in the shows, right?
Right.
And if something maybe happens that you don't like, is there some kind of challenge if it's a issue like a dog man won something? I think I remember somebody pulling out a measuring a wicket or something like that. Would you explain that process?
So you've got two separate kind of questions there.
Okay.
So the first thing is, if I don't like something a judge does, I can go complain to the AKC rep,
Hmm.
but unless the judge did something procedurally wrong,
Hmm.
this is a subjective hobby. So if your dog meets the breed standard better than another dog, that's really up to the judge to decide. And sometimes the judges get it right, in my opinion, and sometimes they get it wrong. But that day, I'm paying for that judge's opinion. So if I don't like what that judge put up that day, I just either choose not to show to him again, or I chalk it up to maybe there was something better in the ring form than what I brought that judge that day. And it happens. Um, so unless the judge does something procedurally wrong, no, there's no way to say, hey, that wasn't right. Even if the dog has a disqualifying factor, you can go complain to the AKC rep about it, but it's up to the judge to call a disqualifying factor. As far as a wicket goes, so that's something that can be called by an exhibitor in the ring, or
Okay.
it can be called by the judge. Either one can call a wicket. And all that is a measuring stick for a dog that or a breed that has a height disqualification.
Okay.
So for Rottweilers and AKC, there is no height disqualification. So I can't call a wicket on another Rottweiler in the ring, even if I think the dog is too big or too small. For my Chernecki that I have, we do have a height disqualification. They
Oh.
have to be, for females, they have to be between 17 and 19 inches. And for males, they have to be 18 to 20 inches. And anything under or over those numbers is a disqualification. Now, for that disqualification to actually be recognized, either I have to call the wicket on my competitor, or the judge has to decide that dog looks a little over or under. I want that dog measured so I know if that dog is over or under. And then the AKC representative will bring the wicket. There's a whole procedure where they show, they show the measurement. The dog is then measured, and the judge says yes, it's in, or no, it's not in, and you're now disqualified. If if you are wicketed out twice, I'm sorry, 3 times, your dog cannot show again. That
Oh
dog is
wow. Okay. Right. Right.
so. So there is
Okay.
a process where it there is a reason for it
Right.
once we do wicket a dog.
What? So if okay, so if you said 3 times that happens,
Mhm. Yep.
okay. So if it's excused 3 times, you can't show no more.
If it's disqualified 3 times.
Disqualified. Okay,
Yep.
got
Yep.
you. All right. Okay. So we got a. This will be my last question, I believe.
You're good.
But we got a lot of different type people here. A lot of Rottweiler people. You bring out the Rottweiler people. What's up, Superior Ward? What's up with
Those
y'all,
are my
gang?
peoples.
Gang up in here. Papa Man, what's happening, brother? Show enough. Make sure I get everybody. Oh, winner reserve then moves up. Is what?
So the winner's dog or winner's bitch does. Reserve winner's dog or reserve winner's bitch does not. And what reserve is basically if AKC finds that the winner's dog or the winner's bitch wasn't, say, in the correct class, or for some reason that dog's registration number was incorrect, or there's a bunch of different little things that could actually cause that dog to not be qualifying, sorry, not be able to qualify for those points. The reserve winner's dog or reserve winner's bitch will actually get those points. It
Right.
doesn't generally happen often, but it can happen. I've actually finished a dog because the dog that got winner's dog was not eligible for those points. And so the reserve dog got it. My dog actually got those points and finished.
Right. Okay. Hey guys, you guys on Instagram, if y'all got any questions for Laini, just go ahead and get them in. YouTube, go ahead and get them in. Um, but we got a lot of people in here, a lot of working dog people, big dog people. What other events? Some people just ain't with the show, so
Mhm.
for just confirmation and things like that. What other events could we participate in if we didn't necessarily want to do the show stuff?
Oh,
Confirmation.
goodness. Basically anything your heart desires. You can do dock diving, you can do rally, obedience, agility, lure coursing, fast cat, which is basically the 100-yard dash for dogs. You can do your CGC, which is your canine good citizen. You can do your
Yep.
temperament testing. You can do your farm dog. You can do your herding dog. You can do, oh, let's see, my poor brain. Um, I know I'm missing something and
But that was
somebody's
a
going
lot
to
right there.
for it.
That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff that people can participate in. That
There's a
might not
lot.
be, yeah, that might not be just be fun of confirmation and whatnot. AKC, send me that check when you get time. And
And the cool
I'm gonna
part
send it to
about
Lainey.
the cool part about the performance events, the non-conformation events,
Mhm.
is even your mixed breed can participate in those.
Oh
So
wow! Oh
that's
wow!
open to everybody. Anybody. So I have a Chihuahua Dachshund mix that I found on the side of the road almost 15 years ago. He has his CGC, he has his fast cat, he has his lure coursing title, he has his barn hunt title. That was the other one I couldn't remember. Barn hunt, where
Barn
they
hunt,
find
yeah,
rats.
right, yeah,
So he's a very titled mutt. I
right.
got his PAL number through AKC so that we could do performance stuff, and he and I went and we've had good fun doing performance stuff.
That's what's up.
So
That's what's up. Look at here, band dog people, and my people that do the mixed dogs. Yeah, you got something for y'all to title too. So that's good.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anybody got any questions? Lainey, if they want to get in touch with you, would you tell them how to get in touch with you?
You can find me on Facebook, Laini Leal, Leal is the last name. You are more than welcome to contact me through there. You can also contact me through my email, belinahandling@gmail.com. Belina Handling's there at the bottom of my name,
Okay.
and you can contact me there. Those are really the easiest ways to contact me.
Okay. Cool. Well, once again, we appreciate you. That was a very thorough show. You're a very thorough person and very funny in real life, guys.
Me, no.
Very funny. Yes. Very good. So,
Hey, it's all about
yeah.
laughing in life.
Yeah. So, hey, look at here. If you ever need anything from NWA, need to make any announcements, whatever you need, you always feel free to reach out and we help you out however we can.
Well, I appreciate it. And, if y'all ever have any questions that I need to answer, I'm always available.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, dear. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. See y'all later, guys. Oh, I'll see y'all tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow with Lori Berg, 7 p.m. CST. We gonna do it. To it.